Welcome to day 109. 109 videos. This is amazing. I continue to learn every day that I do one of these videos. There's a lot of things I want to talk about today. First thing, yesterday morning, I left Oklahoma City about 7:30 in the morning and I drove down to Lexington, Oklahoma. In Lexington, there are two prisons. One prison has about 2,000 or 3,000 people. The other has about 2,000 or 3,000 people. These are both male prisons. Now, the Lexington prison that I went to is a prison where all the people that go to prison in the state of Oklahoma, it's the processing. It's where everybody goes when they get arrested and they go to court and they're, say, in a small town, a county seat where they were tried and found guilty. They're transported from those county seats to this one prison. And there they get evaluated and determine where they're going to ship them off to, which prison they're going to go to next, whether they're going to go to a prison with walls and fences, or whether they're going to go to a prison that's going to be like a community center, or whether they're even going to be on possibly just an ankle monitor, and if they'll be on house arrest. So what happens is there's about 500 people that go through this process, and they're there for about 2 weeks to a month. And during that time, they're in a small cell. Sometimes they share that cell with another person, and they don't have anything as far as material to read. There's no televisions, there's no entertainment. They're just in a cell with this other person they've never met before, and now they're going to be living together for 2 weeks to a month. And so what I do about every 3 months is I go to Lexington, and I get the opportunity, because we have a great director of the Department of Corrections in Oklahoma right now. We've had a couple of really good ones, but I get an opportunity to go to the prison and to give away this book, The Purpose-Driven Life. Now, this book has changed my life. I've read this book 117 times now, and there is so much great information in this book. And it is a religious book. It's a book that talks about a relationship with God, with Jesus, with the Holy Spirit. This book has so much great information in it about how to have a healthy relationship, about how to have purpose in life, about how to live a meaningful life. And a lot of people that I gave this book to, yesterday I gave away 480 of these books. 480 books. I gave these books to people. I looked them eye to eye. And I know from reading this book how it has given me so much hope. And so I wanted to give this book to these people. And a lot of people have no concept, a lot of my friends have no concept of what people are like in prison. And there's all kinds of people in prison. There's old people, there's young people, there's educated, there's uneducated. Yesterday, when I was walking through a certain part of the prison, there was a senior in a wheelchair, and I would say he was in his late 80s. And he had been sitting in that wheelchair for hours in that one area. My father is in an assisted living facility right now. He's 80, he's in his late 80s, he's almost 90 years old. And in that facility, there are men and women that sit in wheelchairs for hours, just like the man that I saw yesterday at prison. There is so much suffering. There is so much suffering in this world, and we can do something to make a difference. When I walked by that man yesterday in his wheelchair, I recognized him and I said hello to him. I passed him a couple of times, and every time I went by, I said hello to him. I was just sharing that I saw him as a person and I recognized him and I loved him because I was there to pass out these books, to make a difference in that total environment. What can we do to make a difference? My philosophy is the more you give, the more you live. The more we give, the more we live. Our ears. When we listen to someone else talk, when we take notes about what they're saying, that helps us from wanting to interject, and it shows them that we're really listening to them, that we really care. I care about people. And what's interesting is I care more about people today than I ever have. It just keeps getting more and more and more. I care more about people because of all the experiences that have happened in my life. So yesterday I went from cell to cell passing out these books, and I pray that some people that I gave those books to, it'll totally change their life. It'll change the track that they're on. It'll help them. Or it'll keep them on the track that they're on. If they're doing good now, that they'll continue to do good. It is said in the Bible that the poor will always be with us. So there's always opportunity for us to help people. And that's not just the poor financially, that's the poor in spirit. How can we help people? Now, one of the things that I want to share also is the importance of planning. And it is, of course, I think it's very, very important to read. And I read this book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Now, I've read this book several times and I've gotten a lot of great information out of this book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. In this book, he talks about planning. He talks about priorities. He talks about goal setting. He talks about mostly about character. This is an incredible book. This book introduced me to a planner. Now, this is my planner. And I carry this planner with me almost everywhere I go. I'll leave it in the car if I'm going into a restaurant. Sometimes I'll take it, this is a pretty big planner. Sometimes I will take it in the restaurant if I want to work on things. Now, the great thing about this planner is it breaks down the entire month, and then it breaks down the weeks, and it breaks down the days. Ideas create energy, and I need to have a way to manage all the ideas that I have going on in my life. So I am a believer in technology, but I'm also a believer in paper and pen. Paper and pen. I don't have to wait for the battery to recharge. I don't have to wait till it boots up. I've got this information and this is mine. No one else has access to this except me. It's not out in the space. This is something I trust. This is something I carry with me. And I'm able to look at, what did I do 3 months ago? Who was I with? What kind of activities? And it's right here in this paper. I highly recommend using a planner, a yearly planner. Now they have smaller sizes, but this is the size that works really well for me. This planner cover, I got this planner cover at Target, and this is like 5 years old, and this thing gets thrown around all the time. The planner cover cost me a couple of bucks, and if you're not using a planner, I highly recommend it. I write down my goals. I know what my top 3 goals are right now. The top 3 goals that I'm working on, as many of you know, I just finished one of my goals, and that was to be completely debt-free. And so now I don't owe any money to anybody or any institution, and that's a wonderful feeling. But I have 3 goals now. One of my goals is I want to hire 35 great cell phone buyers. The other thing I want to do is I want to sell 100,000 books, mentor the kid and the CEO. And the third thing is I want to give away 20,000 books a month. I was able to give away 480 of these books yesterday, and we're giving between 12 and 20,000 books a month right now away. I want to continue to do that. I want to give away more books. The books that we give away right now, I give away 4 books. I give away the book called The Purpose-Driven Life. I give away the book that I wrote, Mentor the Kid and the CEO. I give away Alcoholics Anonymous, the basic textbook from the 1930s. And I give away the book Think and Grow Rich. Now, I don't just give that to anybody. I give these to people that are in institutions or schools or organizations that don't have access to books. They don't have the money for books. And I started a nonprofit a couple of years back called Worldbookbank. And if there's an organization out there that needs books, they can go to that website and request free books. Or if somebody wants to help support that, they can make a taxable donation, tax deductible. They can make a tax deductible donation to the World Book Bank. And we've got extremely low cost to be able to deliver and be able to give away books that'll make a life-changing, that'll make a life-changing difference in somebody's life. So, if you've got some questions, please put them in the comments down below. I'm not getting many comments, and I would like for you to put some comments down below so that I can respond to those. If you have questions, about anything that I'm doing in my life, you know, my phone number is in the body down below. You can call me and I'll talk to you. I get 5, 10, 15, 20 phone calls a day, and I'm able to respond to most of those calls. And it's really cool because I'm meeting people all over the world. I just sat down with a gentleman. He's in his late 60s, and he's going through the transition. He just resigned from his job on Monday, and we just had a wonderful conversation for a little over an hour. And he drove down I think he drove about 90 miles to come visit with me, and it was just a really great experience. I really enjoyed meeting with Tom this morning. I look forward to the rest of the day. I'm going to go out to Job Corps this afternoon and run with the kids at the Job Corps Center in Guthrie, Oklahoma. And we're going to talk about some books that we're reading, and I'm going to share with them some new books and encourage them to read, because if I want to be successful, I got to gain new knowledge. And the easiest way to get new knowledge is through the books that have been written. Stephen Covey's book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, changed my life. Purpose-Driven Life changed my life. So many books that I've read have just made a huge impact on me. And if you'd like to know some of the books that I've read that I haven't listed, you can give me a call and I'll share that with you. Put some comments down below. Please share this with other people, because like I said, this is video number 109. So there's a lot of videos, and there's a lot of really great information in all those other videos about what actions I've taken in order to get this kind of successes in my life that I've gotten. Money's not everything, but it sure is nice to have money so we can take care of our needs and help the people around us that we love. I had a kid the other day, we were talking on the phone, and I asked him if he graduated high school. He said no. I said, do you have a GED? He said no. I said, why don't you get your GED? He said, I don't know how. So I gave him some ideas. He made some phone calls. He found a place that he could get a GED for $138. He was going to have to take a test, obviously, do some studying, but $138. He didn't have $138. I said, come to my office, I'll give you $138. If I didn't have the money, I wouldn't be able to do that. And if you use the law of compounding and you use the law of habits, then you can give little bits of money like that to people that deserve it. So the more we give, the more we live. Whether it's our ears, whether it's our time, whether it's a little bit of money here and there, if it's a book that we can give to somebody. You've read some books. Why don't you give one of the books that you've read that made a difference in your life to somebody else and see how it changes their life? Thank you very much for watching.